Rory! Passionate, loyal, determined, committed. The man is right alongside of us. They are the words of your skipper, Taylor Walker, and you have signed 5 years with the Adelaide Football Club. Nicknamed Sloan Dog Millionaire. It's now worth that. Yeah. You're now actually that man.
Oh, mate, it's good. Huge day for myself and my wife, Belinda, and the footy club as well. So they've been unbelievable for us. For me, over 10 years, Belinda over about 7. And, to be hanging around, we love Adelaide. We love the footy club so much. We're ready to start the next part of our life here too.
Rory, congratulations. Awesome for everyone involved. 5 years. It's a long time. Especially, not sure whether Crows have handed out 5-year contracts in the past.
I'm pretty sure they have not given out a 5-year contract, but you're the first and worth it.
Yeah, well, as I said, that makes me feel pretty proud. I've given everything to the club over the last 10 years, and they have given a lot to me as well, and my wife, and they've shaped who I am as a footballer. And to be rewarded with that is pretty special. So I'll be playing into the 30s there, and hope to keep going after that and deep into the 30s. We'll see how the body goes, but that's a long way down the path, I suppose. But absolutely pumped.
And as a professional athlete, that security must be great as well, because, sometimes it's a little bit unknown, especially in football. I mean, you've said it's, mainly for family reasons you've stayed here, but just that financial security in itself is a massive win as well.
Oh, that's a little part of it. I think first and foremost, which has always been the case for us, we had to be 100% happy that we were going to be able to bring up a family here and to start our lives here. And that's a bit of the unknown, you don't know how things are tracking in a couple of years down the track and that kind of thing. And but you're right. When you get a bit older and that kind of thing, those, I think in the past, that sort of commitment is sort of hard to get sometimes. So I think it's a great result both for myself and the footy club, because I've loved being there since day dot.
Knowing you probably would have switched off from all the outside noise in regards to this contract, but there's been a lot of speculation, mate, and there's been enormous amounts of conversations, and we've just grabbed a short snippet here we're going to play to you about what other people's outside of your world, their thoughts about your contract in the last 12 months.
Rory Sloane is the man who's now mainly in focus. Kane.
Yeah, it's big and still not signed. Heading into round 15, unrestricted free agent, can go anywhere he wants. They're getting nervous.
Anyone that hasn't made a decision by now and is not looking to make a decision in the near future is waiting until the end of the year. And the reason you wait till the end of the year, because that's the only time you can leave.
Yeah, the longer it goes, you tend to see players move clubs.
Until Rory says I'm staying, he's going, and everybody should think he's going.
Sloane, you almost wonder, are you better off letting him go or trading him out and getting something in the door?
Where's Rory going?
North's really keen, Bill.
And got the money?
They've got the money.
Rory Sloane linked to big Victorian clubs, one in particular being Hawthorn.
Rory Sloane is being linked to Hawthorn.
Correct.
If he was to come to Hawthorn, I'd be very happy to play alongside him.
If Rory Sloane gets to the end of the year and St Kilda offer him a 5-year deal, Rory Sloane has no choice but to go to St Kilda. Adelaide can't offer him 5 years. I mean, that's just business. It's a no-brainer in my book.
Sam McClure, steady on, pal. Hey, got that totally wrong. I know you don't like that stuff. You hate that stuff. But what are your thoughts on all those comments? And if you do hear them and you know how false they are?
I've done really well this whole year, mate, tuning all that stuff out, and haven't heard any of it. So thanks for just creating a compilation of...
I love how you sunk into your chair.
I just turned the mic off, and I just turned it down, so I didn't hear much. But I get that's the industry we're in, and people want to know sooner rather than later. But for myself and my wife, it was purely about making sure we are comfortable with a decision that we could make, and the decision to stay here, and we were comfortable with that. And I understand the frustration that fans or media outlets and that those sort of people would have around that, but for me, there was more to it than just football. I've been, as I've said the whole way along, I love the footy club. I love living here, or we love living here, and I can see success at the footy club over the next 5 years. And it's all the other stuff that we had to get right and had to think about, and sometimes that's probably not thought about in our industry.
When was the decision? I mean, it's been announced today, but in your mind, when was the decision made?
Last night.
Really?
Yesterday.
Right.
It came strange timing across the obviously social media platform as well for us, and there was an email from the footy club, but obviously it was just the timing was right for you.
Yeah, well, and I've said to everyone all along, I think I've said on here before, once we've made a decision, I was always going to communicate it with the footy club and the fans out there, and I think I've held true to that.
You love Melbourne, though, and Belinda loves Melbourne. What was the main... I know I would have thought for you the hardest one would have been to look the boys in the eye, to say I'm going to leave. Because Adelaide, as you know, is a small town, and you do enjoy it here, but was that a big part of it as well, to be able to look the boys in the eye and think, I couldn't tell them I'm leaving?
No, well, I didn't have to get to that stage. So
if you did you lean? Do you know what I mean? If you were leaning towards that to say, I could never do that. I could never look at the boys in the eye and say I'm going to leave.
Oh well, I've got obviously really good mates there that understand that I've given everything to the club to this point, and I think I play the type of footy that a teammate loves to play with. So I think they would get it from that point of view. It's never been about football and money. It's always been about family and how I see the next part of my life tracking and the part of our family's life tracking. And that's a bit we had to be really clear on before making a decision. So I don't even know if that answered the question. Sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
Who were you mainly conversing with? Was it with Pikey or, during the season, who were you having those little chats with the most?
Yeah,
yeah, outside of family, but at the footy club.
Yeah, there's obviously Belinda and my manager, and then the only other two people were Brett Burton and Andrew Fagan. And I was very honest with those guys the whole time. I got a great relationship with both guys, and they were unbelievable through the whole process. They respected the time that we needed. They understood it. And I guess that helps from being really honest and open with those two blokes and having one-on-one conversations just like this with them, just sitting down, giving them my thoughts, where we're at, where our head was at. So that was unbelievable from those two guys, and yeah, I can't thank them enough.
And you're glad it's done? It's, must be a weight off your shoulders.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just can't wait to play football tomorrow night now, and that's we've still got a lot of season left. This year obviously hasn't gone the way that we've wanted it to go, and we've got a lot of season left, and we're still up for the fight. And I know the guys over the last couple of days, we trained the house down yesterday, and the guys are ready to take on Geelong, who are in, again, good form and are an unbelievable side. So we have to take them on at home, and I can't wait to get out there.
Can you do the supporters a favour? Your first possession tomorrow night, hopefully it's a stoppage and play, can you hang on to it just for a second? Because the ladies and men and supporters in the crowd are going to absolutely start crying when you get your first possession.
Oh, I had a nice cheer once I came back the other week against West Coast, and we've got unbelievable fans that most of them gave us really good support across the whole time, and yeah, I can't wait again to get out there in front of them on Thursday night.
So Danger comes back into town. It's a massive game. For every single game from here on in is huge. Danger comes back into town, and also Gary Ablett, the first time we've seen him in a Geelong Guernsey. Now, we know he's got a few issues with his shoulder. Most coaches may mention that in a pre-game, that if you get him, you tackle him hard, and he's so hard to stop, and you're going to get a good look at him tomorrow night. It's a difficult combination to stop.
Funny enough, it's not just Danger and Ablett. You've also got Joel, you got Mitch Duncan, you got Kelly, you got a stack of guys that roll through that midfield, and then they've got some unbelievable footballers down back and up forward too. So they're a quality side, and we're going to focus more on us and how we're playing, because we haven't been playing up to the level we expect, and it's about us tomorrow night. We've got to bring the level, take the game on, and make sure we give it a red hot crack, because you're right. We need to, if we want to play finals, we got to win every game, but pretty much, and there's no room for error.
I saw Gibbo play on Saturday. Played pretty well. Probably possible inclusion.
Yeah, possible inclusion. I think that comes out this afternoon. He trained with us this morning. Eddie trained this morning. He got through fine, so he'll be back. A couple other boys as well played well for Norwood and had limited time as well. So we'll see how they pull up today.
And you're going all right, mate? Obviously, the foot's pulling up okay, but just the general wear and tear after getting back into footy a couple of weeks?
Yeah, well, I missed 9 or 10 weeks, so I'm feeling pretty fresh at the moment, which is nice. Foot's been pulling up great as well, so that was one little concern I had. Just wanted to make sure the foot was pulling up right and getting through games. But it's pulling up great.
You back in the water yet?
Not back in the water yet.
No.
I came back the other week, and the last week's been pretty horrid weather, so I think that wind's slowly turning today or tomorrow, Biggles, so we'll see how I go this weekend.
Well, there's going to be every supporter from an Adelaide point of view standing out of their seats to applaud you tomorrow night for your commitment, your courage and your resilience with the footy club under enormous adversity. So I'm pretty sure they're pumped and they'll celebrate well. It's a massive game. More importantly, thanks very much for coming in, Blue. Pretty lucky to have him.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. Well done on the contract, and we're glad you're still here.
Thank you very much. Who did I sub in for today on radio? Did you have someone else lined up? Did the Biggles?
It's only your mate Mick Fanning who got bumped because your contract was bigger, but that's all right. We'll hopefully get Mick on another time when he gets back from France.
Oh, very good.
It's the Rush Hour on Triple M.